Hi Thai Alliance, this is Evergoo aka Goo, and today I'm going to be showing you how to territory battles as a guild, version 1.0. I call this version 1.0 because I feel that I'm going to be revising this guide quite often. Mind you, this is only our second time that we're approaching territory battles. With that said, I created an outline because there's so much to talk about so that I don't forget what to talk about. First, I'm going to talk about how do we read the territory battles template. Then we're going to talk about the order of operations video that Nukin from Team Scout Republic created, and then we're going to talk about kill order that Miss Passier created. So let's start with the understanding territory battles template. So I created one for TGR, and the way to do this is the following. First off, you go to instructions, and you can see that these are some of the rules for the instructions. First off, you want to enter the link to your guild's swaggle.gg profile. So under the meta, so you go to meta, and you type in, you insert the link to your guild. Then the next thing you do is you press the refresh button on the Hoff sheet. So you go to Hoff sheet, press the refresh button, and then it'll start syncing every person's data in your guild. It's pretty insane when you think about it. Every single person. Then after that, you wait for the script to complete. It could take a while. I think it took me like a minute or two. And then you can input customizables, and you can do that to the meta sheet also. So like, what is the bare minimum that you need per phase? So like, you want Hoff Rebel Soldier to be Gear 7, level 53, 3 stars. And it's all like arbitrary numbers, kind of, but these are kind of recommendations also, so I don't tweak with any of this. But this also affects the color coding scheme, which I'll explain later. Some things to note: scripts do not run on mobile devices, so it won't work. Let's see what else. There's certain things that you can't touch, otherwise you'll mess up everything. Like the hero sheet, do not modify this sheet. And then everyone has access to editing this document, so please make sure you don't F it up. So let's start with the roster. So it tells you on the roster tab, it tells you everyone's galactic power for the heroes, for the ships, and for the total, and how many light side 7-star G10 plus teams they have, and rebels. As Pringle stated earlier, you need at least 3 squads, 2 preferably for light side and 1 for rebels. So if you're, as I'm looking down through here, right, I'm noticing that Death Row needs some more rebels that are G10 plus, and these people down here also need some. And also for light side, you need at least 2 squads, so you need at least 10 characters. So I'm looking for 10. So like D4 Brown would need 10 plus, right? So yeah, you want at least over 10 plus for light side 7-star G10, and at least 5 for 7-star G10. Usually the 5th is going to be Luke Skywalker or the Hoff Rebels. So the next tab, we're going to look at the Hoff tab. This is an awesome tab. It tells you if your tunes are ready and geared, and how many of your guild has of each. So let's look at, like, we take a look right here. We have 39 Hoth Rebel soldiers that are ready. And what ready is defined as for phase 2 is the following. I go to meta. Phase 2, ready is being 3 stars and gear 7, level 53. Once again, you can change those parameters. So how many players have 3 stars, gear 7, and level 53? There are a total of, and you can see by the color scheme, that everyone that had 7-star has at least level 50 and gear 7. And this person has at least 3-star. GW has at least 3-star also. And so forth. And you can see that the dark blue means that they are ready. 39 of them are ready. Now you might notice that, what's the light blue mean? The light blue means that they're not ready yet. They're missing one piece, as you can see from the legend. Okay, so missing a level or two. And then the orange is missing a star. So what that means is Mdong right here is missing gear 7. Kenshiro is missing gear 7. The red also obviously means that they have not, they're not there yet at all. So they're not at 3-star gear 7. They're far away, in fact. Yeah, so like Death Row is 4-star gear 1, really far away. And then the orange means that they're a star below the requirement. So like Mr. B has 4-star gear 8, he needs 5-star Captain Han Solo so that we can earn Cholo shards. Not Cholo shards, Rolo shards. So when we take a look at, I just defined what all these, the dark blue and the light blue and the red and the orange mean. The gray, I don't know what the gray means, but it looks like the gray is very, very close. So it should be light blue. But it's not light blue because it's understarred at the moment. Anyways, so we take a look at these. Let's take a look at these columns. So this tells you how many stars. So you need 3. Let's look at another example. You need a 5-star Hoth Rebel Soldier. You need at least gear 8, and you need at least gear level 80 to survive. Those are the recommendations. The squads are just telling you, I believe like the phase or something, phase 2. Yeah, this is phase 2 or phase 3. Sorry, I don't know what this squad means. R means required. You have to have those characters to earn Rolo shards, right here. And then this ready column tells us how many guild members are ready in that particular phase. So this is going to be very, very telling of how we progress. As you can tell, we don't have any POWs that are ready for Rogue One squad. However, we do have 5 Scarab Rebel Pathfinders that are ready for Rogue One phase 6. So now that I finished the Hoth tab, let's go to the Platoon tab. This tab is going to be so important. I'm going to be clicking on this refresh button every day at 6. Oh my god, it's going to be 7 a.m. because they're going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so 7 a.m. Pacific. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this refresh button and it'll automatically generate every single platoon that we have for phase 1, and you can change the phases right here all the way to phase 6. And then when it automatically generates all that, let's say POW shows up, right? It'll actually recommend you who should deploy a platoon POW, that is. So like let's look at an example like phase 6, right? If I look at phase 6 and I hit the refresh button, they're going to look automatically for a POW that is 7 stars, who is the lowest geared and lowest leveled. Let's go back to the Hoth. Now if we want to find one right now, it's basically extraction from this tab right here. That's why there's a lock on it so that you can't mess with it. So we have currently, I think that means 9 POWs maybe? No, that doesn't mean that. I'm like maybe looking at the wrong one. Heroes tab. I think it's pulling from the Heroes tab. So we look at POW. Where's POW at? POW right here. We have 12 POWs that are 7 stars. And it'll pull up the weakest 7-star POW possible. Where's the 7-star POW? Right here. So Kazel. So what it will do is for the platoon, if I'm looking for 7-star POW, Kazel will appear first. He's the recommended one. And it'll generate for the entire, all 6 platoons, which is insane that it can automatically generate that. I was going to do it manually by typing in all the names, but this is much more efficient. So all I have to say is that from 7 to 8 a.m., no one should be platooning any characters whatsoever, because we have to actually follow this to maximize our opportunities. Once again, no one should be deploying their platoons in the first hour of territory battles. So next up, we're going to look at the estimates. This right here, I don't completely understand yet. I can see some parts, but I don't completely understand every single part. And I think I'll understand it more when I record more data of how territory points are earned. Snapshot. I think that's where you can put in your player links of all your 50 guild members, and then you can click on each person. Useless really when you have heroes tab. So the heroes tab right here tells us that we have 34 2-star A-list occurs, 34 3-stars, and 15 7-stars. This is going to be so helpful in telling us what we need to farm as a guild. I highlighted everything in red that I believe that we're under 10. So we have less than 10 7-star Ahsoka Fulcrums. No one has 7-star Captain Han Solo. No one. There's 9 cups. We need at least 10. So the red just tells us what we need to work on. We need more Kit Fistos, more Lobots. We only have 4. We don't have those Ewoks. Definitely no Rolos and no vets. So the red shows that what we need to farm. And for myself, let me find myself first. Boom. I decided to red coded myself on toons that I'm working on. Now, you don't want to spread yourself thin because it's better to concentrate than diversify. So I decided to focus on getting a 7-star Cholo. I'm not bothering with Cup because I'm so far away. 7-star Finn to get ready for the future Resistance meta for the return, the Last Jedi, and also for Hat would be very helpful. Lobot, not that far away. And for Lobot, I'm probably going to use 50 crystals to accelerate the farming process so that we can get more Lobots for platoons. So Lobot appears in 2 nodes on light side, and I'm going to use 50 crystals on each of them to get that extra 10 battles. And then I'm going to be working on Pow, who's close to 7 stars. And that's it. I'm not going to work on anyone else. I'm not going to bother with Wicket. I'm not going to bother with Paplu. I'm not going to bother with Kit Fisto. I'm not going to bother with Cup. Like, that's for other guildmates to do, because I'm not even close. I'd rather concentrate with 4 characters than diversify with 10 characters or so. So this is going to be awesome. And I would like you to do the same thing also, like red code them, so that, color code them red, so that we know who's focusing on what. And it's all voluntary, of course, there's no pressure. Of course, we want, you know, Cholo, 5 stars. And likewise with the ships. So ships cannot be data mined from swaggle.gg. And right now, as you can see, there are 2 people who are on the spreadsheet inputting data. As you can see right now, Anonymous Loris, whatever the animal is, I think that's Indiana Joneser, is inputting data in for us. So thank you, Indiana Joneser. And I think Dracarys did it earlier, but he passed out because he got tired and bored. So anyways, what this tells us is that we have 8 ships that are 3 stars, 8 Ahsoka Tano's that are 3 stars, and 8 Ahsoka Tano's that are 7 stars. And mind you, as we know, ships are very easy. Space 6 ships are very easy. You really shouldn't be failing them, so I don't think it really matters whether you have them gear 9, gear 10. Just platoon them because ships battles are very easy at phase 6. And here's what you can see. Here's what I'm working on. I'm working on Business U-Wing. I'm almost at 7 stars. I'm working on Clone Sergeant, 5 stars right here. Working on Ghost, also 5 stars, and working on Plo Koon, who's at 6 stars. And those are my foci. I'm not working on anyone else. I'm probably going to be doing Plo Koon from Cantina after I finish Finn from Cantina, after I finish Cholo from Cantina. And then Ghost is going to be probably just hard node farm. I don't think I have enough crystals to refresh for another, what is it, 20 times 5, 100 energy. Clone Sergeant is going to be, I'm going to go with GW first and hopefully try to do as much of that as possible because I don't want to tap into my fleet. And Business U-Wing is obviously tapping into my fleet because he's only farmable in that location. We already talked about the meta tab, and then lastly, combat missions tab. This is very important. So this is like crowdsourcing from TIE Alliance of like what squads they beat. 6 out of 6 waves. Sorry for the pause. You might notice that P6, no one beat anything. Death Wolf 2 recorded something, but he got 5 out of 6. No one recorded anything because none of us could beat it. So I want to say something about why no one could beat it. Because we need to make sure that we know how to platoon correctly. If you don't platoon correctly, you screw the guild over. And I'll give a perfect example. In the Unforsaken, we were all doing a trial run, right? When we got to phase 6, you know how there's like a airstrike button on the left-hand side? Well, there was no airstrike button, and I was like, oh my god, I just survived all 6 waves with no airstrike button. And that sucked, because people did not platoon correctly. They were platooning the Millennium Falcon when no one has a 7-star Millennium Falcon. So, please make sure that you follow those rules accordingly in terms of platooning. So next up, I'm going to talk about the order of operations. So the order of operations, I'm going to put a link to the YouTube video in the description section of the YouTube video, basically saying that here's how you should do territory battles. Highly recommend that you watch it if you haven't watched it. So first thing you do is do not deploy your troops. I think everyone learned that from the first territory battles. I'm sure there's some people that were foolish enough to deploy troops in the beginning. But please do not deploy your troops at all. Secondly, check platoons. So when you check platoons, this is what you do. You go to this tab. Look for all this. But remember, don't do it until after the first hour. It's like 0 damage, 0 platooning in the first hour. Think of it like a raid, okay? Check here to see if your name's on here. That's who we're platooning. FYI, when we get to phase 6, all the bases basically have to be platoon. We don't have enough bases. So that's going to suck for Rogue One squads. But I actually think you shouldn't platoon them because I believe you earn more territory points than putting them in platoons. It really depends. It's really like depends. I don't know. Let's go back to this. Secondly, I want to also mention platoons that I noticed when I was doing the first trial is that some people are trying to race to see who can donate the most platoons. It is not a damn race. It's about completing the platoon. You can do 100 platoons contribution. That doesn't mean anything unless you complete 15 out of 15 platoons for that squadron. So it's not a race. It's about helping the guild out in a logical order to make sure that we complete things. Keyword completing the platoon, not who gets the most contributions of platoons. That's meaningless. I did that for the first day or two, and then I realized I'm not helping the guild out by doing it early. If I want to help the guild out, I should wait and see where the gaps are to fill in those gaps. Because when you are in phase 6, for example, and you have no airstrike, you are in deep shit. Next order of operation, you do special combat missions. So those are the special combat missions are, where is it? Let's go to Hoth, I believe, right? The special combat missions are the Rolo shards, the Commander Luke, because they earn you extra rewards if I recall correctly. Commander Luke gives you TB tokens or something, and Rolo, this one earns you Rolo shards, etc. So you should do those first. Special missions are very important. Okay. And then after that, you do your Rebels combat missions. Rebels. You want to do Rebels first because light side, there's a plethora of light side. Rebels is there's a limited amount. And after you finish the Rebels, you can do the Phoenix or the Rogue One. But I want to emphasize that you have to be very careful because I made a mistake. I think in phase 6, I believe I used Ezra in Rogue One squad. No, shit, that doesn't work. That's not possible. I used Ezra in my Rebel squad. And what did I leave with my Phoenix? Well, they were screwed and they got destroyed because I didn't have Ezra in the Phoenix squad. So please be mindful about characters that are in 2 different factions. Like, for example, R2-D2. He's in Rebels and in Light Side. Be very mindful about creating the right squad. Speaking of squads, you want to pre-program them as a tab called TB and program at least 3 squads. 2 Light Side, 1 Rebels. When you program them, you can just reuse them over and over and over. And a perfect example I want to give you is my combat missions. you'll notice that my common missions, I'm using this line right here in P4, and then in P5 I basically use the same lineup again. And same thing with so I use it, and in P3 I also use the same thing. So P3, P4, and P5 I use the same ones, and that's because I pre-programmed it. Same thing with my Zygon team, my Jedi. Using P3, using P4, and I use it P5 also right here. Yes. So you pre-program it, it'll save you a lot of time in terms of trying to figure out what the best squad is. And mind you, these are all people that succeeded 6 out of 6, unless they wrote like 5 out of 6 on the bottom. Okay? Use the recommended squads. Don't try to theory craft. It's about getting 100% complete 6 for 6 waves. It's not about, oh, I use this awesome tune, yada yada yada. We don't care. Get the 6 for 6. Next up, then you do, forgot, step 6, platoons, right? Deploy platoons. And then lastly, you deploy all the rest of your characters. Now here's an important thing. Lots of people messed up in the first trial, which is understandable. It's a trial run. Lots of people messed up where they were deploying tunes in the wrong territories, which made us a few thousand, 100,000 short of getting the next star. And that is so important that we deploy correctly. And it's important because every single star matters. I think in TGR we can get somewhere between 36 to 41. I think we should be aiming for that goal. But in order to do that, we have to be super coordinated in terms of following like the order of operations and following platoons and trying to beat all these 6 for 6 waves, because it's a huge difference in terms of prize boxes. Purple, blue, 31 to 35 is also blue, but I think TGR can get 36 to 41. And we definitely don't want green. We just want the best prizes possible. You also get crystals, so it's helpful for those who are free to play. So moving on, the next piece is actually there's another piece I want to add in. This is step 3. We're going to take a look at how to earn stars properly is the keyword. How to earn stars properly. So to earn stars properly, I'm going to take a look at this right here. Boom. Thank you, Obi-Wan Shinobi, for sharing this. Let's take a look at each one to make sense of this. What does all this mumbo jumbo mean? So the galactic power to 1 star, to 2 star, to 3 star. So for phase 1, you need 885,000, then 6,580,000, then 45,600,000. That's 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, right? When I think our galactic power let me take a look at it. Galactic power at the moment is at 87 million. I think we had another player come in, so it's like 88 million or something. It tells you the averages and all that jazz. So let's say we're 88 million. 88 million is no issue right here with 45 million. Now you start noticing some issues, right? 55 and 43, that's 98 million. We only have 88 million. How do we make up for the 10 million discrepancy? Well, you have to make sure that you do these damn things right here. If you platoon everything, if you haven't noticed, platoon 5, squadron 5, and squadron 6 always gives you this extra bonus. So we should be trying to fill in the last 2 first. See that? The last 2. The first 4, squadrons 1 through 4, give you only 100k. The last 2 give you 150k. And it's all random, so might as well just fulfill the last 2 first. Not the first one. Everyone else tries to do things in order. Do the 6th one, 5th one. It doesn't matter about order. You can platoon anyone. It builds up. And that earns you 700k, right? This one earns you 40k. So when you're at 98.8 million that you need, and you only are a total GP power as a guild of 88 million, you need every single thing you can get. And it's important that people platoon correctly. It's also important that we 3-star light side and get 6 for 6. because mission rewards per squad wave. For each wave you complete, you get this much. So 43k, 29k, 43k, 57k, 71k, 86k. You can get a total of 329k per full completion. That's why you need to refer to this. Use these recommended squads to complete it fully, and you can get 329k. It's huge. But what is 329k? What is that? Doesn't sound like a lot, right? When I'm down by 10 million. Well, if the whole guild does it, 16.45 million. So just by having the entire guild complete one battle, one combat mission, you can get 16 million. And there we've already reached 3 stars immediately. This is immediately already 3 stars. Actually, no, not immediately 3 stars. Let me rephrase that. With all the deploying that happens after, yes, you would get 3 stars. But like, we have to beat these missions 6 for 6. Or if not 6 for 6, at least get as far as possible, because 86,000 is a lot. Might not sound a lot, but it is a lot. And what's even more important is that you need 50 out of 50 people to participate in order to get this 16.45 million. So everyone must participate in order to be successful. You can't have anyone like missing out, because it's going to come down to a numbers game. So yes, as you notice, as you get further, phase 3 is a total of 100 million. Phase 4 is 170 million. And let's go to phase 6. You need 160 million. Like at a guild that's only 88 million, how are you going to achieve 160 million? You just got to kick ass and get 6 for 6 or 5 out of 6. You just got to have kick ass squads. But in order to have kick ass squads, you need to platoon correctly. Because if you don't platoon correctly, you don't have the airstrike that's going to screw you over like I experienced in phase 1 in that first trial run. Okay, going on. How to spend credits for Galactic Power. So this is from gamingfans.com, and this is the most efficient way to spend it. He even says it right here. I've looked because of this. A common question right now is, what is the most credit efficient way to increase my GP? Because we're always in a credit crisis, and it's like the Great Recession or something, or the Great Depression as well, where we never have any money. So this is the best way to do it. And based on what I see, if you scan through it, the optimal way seems to be you have to have level 50 characters that have 7 stars, that have tier 5 mods. Okay, that let's put them to 12 or something, or 11. So that I would say that's the optimal way to do it. 7 stars, level 50, mod level 11 or 12. You'll notice that the most inefficient way is to gold your mods. Make your mods gold, sorry. Then the next most inefficient way is level 85 characters. So when you think about it, try to get the optimal, right? Versus trying to like level 85 your characters or get gold mods. I also want to add the fact that how would I say this? Put mods on all your characters. Before you go play territory battles and deploy all your tunes at the end of battle, please put mods on all your characters. If you have hundreds of mods, put mods on all your characters. Every single mod matters in terms of Galactic Power. Once again, put mods on all your characters, regardless if they're shitty mods. Put a mod on. And lastly, we're going to talk about kill order. So Miss Passier has a video that I'll put a YouTube link in the description. The description of the YouTube link. A link, yeah, whatever. It's 3:43 a.m. I'm talking right now. In the video, he talks about how he decides kill order, and I agree with the exact order. That's how I killed. I didn't even watch his video. Always kill Snowtrooper Ops first, because he removes all these buffs on you by throwing those stupid little pellet bombs. and then kill the Imperial probe droid, because he puts all these target locks on you and then he explodes and does all these weird stuff for the Empire, and it's insane. And obviously kill all the guys with the skulls because they're annoying, they're hard, and they're annoying once again. Anyways, that's 30 minutes of me talking. Hopefully you found that informative. Sorry I couldn't cut it shorter. And I'll probably make a version 1.1 or version 2.0 or something of this again once we finish the second trial run. Anyways, take care and good luck on TB Monday.